Okay, we're here in Branson, Missouri. Do a little bit of tarot at the park, and see what we get. So I shuffle this way, take one off the top and one off the bottom, and that way I don't ruin my cards. And I've discovered I get a pretty good mix-up of cards. And then we'll do one more, separate it in three, go across the top, pull those out. This will be pretty mixed up when we get there. All right. So let's say we just had the supermoon a couple nights ago, and let's say what news is the supermoon season of the supermoon bringing me? What news? Now, I've made some changes in life. They're supposed to be for the better, I guess. I hope. But let's see what the supermoon is bringing. The Empress. All right, so that's a pretty powerful card. A little bit of justice right at the top. See if y'all can see that. So the Empress is right here. Let's get that back where you can see it. Then we got the High Priestess, another lady. And the Sun. So these will be paired together. High Priestess and Sun. This goes up. Justice, another balance card. Exploding. So we have some renovation taking place. The Lovers as the foundation, and the Hermit. Well, that's wonderful. So, what I get from this, right off the bat, these two cards are together, and these two cards are together in this type of layout. These are together. So this layout works for a variety of questions and analysis. And in this case, we want to know what the supermoon is bringing us. So it looks like maybe an end to bad justice, or an end to justice, or corrupted justice is being balanced with the High Priestess and the Sun. So that's a lot of energy and a lot of feminine power. You have the Empress up here on the top card. She is a judge. This vertical row, there's actually one more that goes in the middle. If we want to do the full set, let's do the full set. So we're going to pull this one to right there, this one here, this one here, this one here, and here's the other card. We'll just do the full set. That way we don't have any messing around. So I'm going to put her sideways just for room on the camera. So the Empress, so justice is the balance, and look at that. It is the balance. So there's 5 cards in the middle, 1 on top, 2 on the bottom. So in this case, we have possibly something, the destruction of something I love, or a past relationship is being taken apart, which I can understand that, and it probably needs to be. And that's being balanced again with this solar energy of the High Priestess and the Sun. The Sun is generally a positive card. High Priestess positive. All of these are generally positive. I guess I should say, with the exception of the Tower, all of these are generally positive, neutral or positive. What's going to make this unique, this reading unique, is that this High Priestess and Empress, they are the 2 highest female cards in the tarot. The High Priestess is a magician. The Empress is a ruler. So this magician working with the Sun, perhaps providing intellectual enlightenment, I could see that. Perhaps, and that is being balanced against, in a very positive and correct way, that is being balanced against the towers. The Tower and the Lovers. So there is some immediate destruction of something I love. And we don't know what that is entirely, but we know it's being balanced against this enlightenment. I'm going to consider this as enlightenment, a very positive, energetic enlightenment. Not a mysterious enlightenment like the moon, but more of a positive, energetic enlightenment. And this is also another finality type of card, the Last Judgment. So that means there had to be death take place before the judgment, and that something being annihilated and going into judgment, this love of something. Here's another magical set right here. Look at this. So the Hermit is a very special card to me, and that is he's kind of on his own and contemplating the various aspects of nature and of life and of the universe, which is completely understandable. I absolutely love that. And that he's tied with judgment does bring some kind of finality to something, or the recreation or the balance, we could say, of this something. Let me see if we can go like this and get you a better, maybe you can go like that. How's that? All right. And I'm trying to put my arm here to block the sun from wigging this thing out. So this is from your perspective, from the camera perspective. You would be sitting in the client seat. Now, let's take this whole thing together. I am seeing, it's like, sorry, but now these guys decide they need to start doing this. Hold on just a moment, please. All right, he wiped out. Okay, here we go. So I am seeing this as probably an answer to prayer, in that I've been contemplating quitting my job and starting tarot online full-time. I need to quit my job. There's a lot of health issues that are involved in it. I've been physically injured a number of times. So perhaps, I mean, I really love my work, and perhaps that's what's being pointed at. This thing that I love and that I've fought for is coming to an end. But I don't see that it's a bad thing. Not at all. But I do see that there is justice taking place. There's justice here in the Empress, justice as the pivot card or the balance card, and the foundation is completely just in itself. So this is perfectly in alignment. These are perfectly in alignment. So I find that rather fascinating. And the fact that the Hermit is on here, that shows, again, this internal dialogue, this internal searching, and what is the outcome or the culmination of this internal dialogue. And he is being paired with the Last Judgment, which is not a bad thing in any case. It is essentially what must take place after something has been destroyed. So there's also a death card in the tarot, and I don't see that on here. So a thing that I am seeing with its towers and the lovers is perhaps instead of just death, like something died, maybe something is being broken that I love so that it can be rebuilt. Instead of just killed and taken away or dying and taken away, this thing is being rebuilt, which could be me. I mean, that's a large part of the reading for yourself is how do I fit into the puzzle? So if this were a client, I would present to them that there is definitely change coming place, and it'll be intuitive, intellectual. I guess I should say it would be an intellectual and pretty abrupt change will take place with something I love. But I don't see it as bad. I see that there's going to be payoff, and that's what the Judgment is your payment for the things you've done. And that's tied to the internal dialogue of the Hermit. So I see this as a rather positive layout. So, well, folks, I hope you enjoy it. May you have a very blessed day. Ciao. Hey, this is Joe the Tarot Guy, and we are at North Park in Branson, Missouri. And let's get you down a little bit there, see if you can get that about like that. All right. So we're just shuffling. I've been sitting here shuffling the last few minutes. We did a reading a little bit ago about the supermoon. That was last couple days, and I don't know which was the most full 100% part of it. I thought it was last night. It might not have been. It was pretty big, pretty solid round, somewhere around last night or the night before. So yes, I am pulling one card from the top, generally one from the bottom. I found this works best to not get your cards all botched up and broken and bent and degraded. and they mix up very well. So that works great for me. We'll do one more time. So let's do this layout and ask for some insight on what does that last reading mean. The last reading had it had the towers, kind of the towers of destruction, which were kind of paired with the lovers, and that meant quite often that something you love is coming to an end. And I'd like to get some insight to understand this better. So how does this work? Here, let me get this thing right here. And let me get this thing. Just a second. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. Oops. Some guy's walking around spinning a gun over there. A cap gun, which that's kind of goofy. He started to walk directly to us, and he changed his mind, which is good. All right. Headship card. Chariot. So there's some movement. All right, so we talked about movement. We're going to put that up there, see how it goes. And the timeline. We've got the universe tied with the Hierophant, so there's definitely some cosmic action happening in the universe. The center card, which is the balance or pivot card. That's the Hierophant. The Hierophant. The universe tied with the Hierophant, and the Hermit for some internal dialogue, internal insight, looking within you. And he is the pivot card, being matched up against the Hangman, which is more internal dialogue, internal insight, and doing things differently. And he is matched with the Magician, which is, again, control of all material things. And internal dialogue and insight, definitely there. So there's a lot of magic going on. A lot of magic. Let's see the foundation of this situation. Sun, so we have a lot of energy. And the energy is tied with someone on a new adventure. Wow, what an amazing layout. This is just stunning. Stunning. I'll show it to you from my perspective. There you go. So we have the Chariot on top, the universe, the Hierophant. Oh, is it showing? No. Yeah, it's not going to do it. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, for whatever reason. Okay. It says that the gimbal has lost. Now the gimbal's lopsided now. All right, it's lost itself. Oh no. What have I done? I've created a catastrophe. It was doing so good until I fixed it. All right, like everything else in life, right? Don't fix it if it's working. Okay, forget that. I'll have to try to scratch it out. And so it looks as though there is a significant amount of internal dialogue that's taking place, and a significant amount of magic that's taking place. So these guys are trying to throw the football at me. So, They're deciding to play the football right beside me, which is, yeah. Now, the one boy has a yin-yang hat on backwards. The one that's closest to us. All right. Back to this. The chariot is movement, energy, power, strength. It's also about sort of a being at another place. It's I like to perceive the chariot as part of a doorway action. So you can have a doorway, but if you don't step through it, the doorway is of no use. And I see the chariot as the machine that takes you through the doorway. So our question was specifically about the combination, the two cards that were over here the last time, that were the blasted towers, that's the towers of destruction, and the lovers. So that's pretty much something you love coming to an end, or having some radical rearrangement, a very significant rearrangement. And folks, if you were able to see what I'm looking at across the river right here, there's a whole herd of deer that just came down, and they're heading off to get water, and they're walking slowly to get towards the water. If I turned it around and show you, you wouldn't be able to see it because they're all the way over there and they're small. But this is a beautiful thing. So I don't know what's going on with all these bass boats, but they are just ripping through here. And usually folks come through here a little bit over idle, troll and just a little bit over idle. But boy, they are doing 70, 80 knots easily. Yeah. Well, let's get back to this exciting thing. So this whole layout is basically looking into the fractal of the Tower and Lovers card pair. And what we see, what that pair means is movement. Okay, the Tower is definitely about movement. We see very large scale magic going on. Universe is as large scale as you can get. So this is outside of your personal realm. This is outside of you. This is something that's taking place very much outside of your world, and it is the world of the universe. So this is a very cosmic, magical event that's taking place, something we would say on the higher order. Seeing that it's insight from the Hermit, which we had the Hermit last time here, was significant. We had the Sun here last time, which is kind of significant. So we have some of the same cards, which are kind of wonderful. Now look at this. This is what is also interesting. So we have this super external magical thing taking place with the destruction of the thing I love, or let's just call it that. The blasted towers and lovers, let's call that the thing I love. I don't know what it is, but it's whatever it is, right? Which on a higher order is some magical activity in the universe is taking place. And this is being balanced by the Hermit with pure magic right here. This Odin card, this whole action of the Hanged Man. In some decks, they call him the Pendu, which is like a traitor, a thief or a traitor. And if you want to look at that, he's trading his old life of little value for the greater insight of losing. In Odin's case, he lost an eye to gain the greater insight. And yeah, in this case, we definitely have magical symbols that are taking place. Let me see what this is right here. 1 second. Let's take a look here and get you so I can show you what's going on. See if I can get you to see this. All right. Are you able to see that? So you can have a correspondence of what's going on. Is that focused? I don't know. I can't tell. Okay. So in this case, we definitely have water coming down and a large fire, energy, power in this large triangle, if we were to use that as one of the elemental signs. But this elemental sign in specific is water, and water is always coming down, pointing down, and fire is always pointing up. Water and earth point down, fire and air point up. Just think hot air goes up, and there you go. That's how you know. Yeah, that is really magnificent, seeing the magician and the Hanged Man, which I usually call the Odin card, but the Hanged Man tied together. That is pure magic, absolute pure magic. Hierophant is a controller, kind of like a domain controller. He likes to have order. He likes to have leadership over disciples. So there's a leadership order kind of thing. Now, that wouldn't be the same as the emperor, but they are like on the same level. It's just a different aspect of order, and that's being tied with the universe. So I see that as a very cosmic thing. Pure magic is taking place. Again, it all feeds into this, the hermit. This is what the hermit is seeing in his insight. The insight means the sight within you. So that deep contemplation. The sun is being paired with the fool who is on the journey. Well, of course, he has a lot of energy. He's on his way, and he's matched with the sun, so it's pure energy, a strong foundation of going forward. This is the foundation. This is the headship. The chariot is about movement and going forward. And, well, the chariot is about movement, right? It's definitely something's in movement. And the foolish man is paired with the sun, so there's a lot of energy in his whole aspect of starting this great adventure. And remember, this is about this is all about the pair. This is all because of lovers and a tower. So all of this is taking place because of this combination. This combination right here. Can you see it? All right. This combination, the blasted towers and the lovers, is what is being opened up. So we're kind of opening up that Pandora's box to look inside, and this is what we are seeing. What does this mean? This is what it means. Something I love, right, has come to an end. it's it's reached its it's reached its limit. It's coming to an end, right? And that should be very soon. We'll see how that works in real life, whatever it is. But I don't see it as a catastrophic thing. It's basically that the cosmos is in charge of what's going on, and there's pure magic with what's going on, and it's a new start, the foundation of a new start, and there's pure energy going forward. I find this absolutely fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Well, folks, I'd like to hear what you have to say about it, what your insight is, and how you perceive it in your reading methodology and your intuition. So thank you for hanging out with me and for enjoying another reading. This is Joe the Tarot Guy, and may you have a richly blessed day. Ciao.